Can everyone hear me? Yes. Awesome. All right, welcome to another Manchester Meetup. It's the second one. Got a really good turnout, so thank you all for coming. Firstly, I want to say a big thank you to Colony for this event space. So there's a barcode actually on the left on that welcome page for a free day pass. So if anyone wants to work in Manchester, there's a free day pass there for you, courtesy of Colony. They're going to do a quick intro on themselves just after myself. But also another big thank you to CreateFuture. So they've sponsored this event. They've made this happen. So big thank you to them. And obviously for Dave and Benjamin for our speakers. Obviously Dave came in last minute because Ross felt ill this morning. So big thank you to Dave. Not a lot of people would come in and do it on literally the day of the meetup. So big thank yous there. Look, there's a lot of new faces and obviously some old ones that came to the first meetup. So a quick intro on us. So my name's Vitas and that's Ben over there. So we're the organisers and founders of the DevOps Society. And we run meetup communities across everywhere. Manchester, Birmingham, London, and some people ask me already, why have you created this community? And we've created it for this exact reason, where people can get together, have conversations, and create friends, and just have a good environment where people feel sort of safe to share, their ideas and thoughts and whatnot. So alongside that, we also have our own DevOps and Cloud recruitment agency. So if anyone wants, to have a chat and wants to know more about the market or how it is, Ben are more than happy to have a conversation. We'll get going. Joe's going to do a quick intro on Colony, and then we'll kick off with Dave.
Amazing, thank you.
Dead quick. I'm Joe. I'm part of Colony's marketing team. Just got to let you know of a couple of things. Your closest fire exit is the front door that you came from. There isn't any planned fire alarms today, so if it does go off, run. We have a meeting point which is just at the pub across the road, which is unfortunately closed. And yeah, that's all from me. Quick one on the day pass. You should have found there's some little barcodes lying around and stuff. Just redeem that, scan the barcode, and come and work from any of our venues. And yeah, that's it from me.
I'm not going to use microphone because I'm trying to type on a keyboard. Also, there's a live demo showcase, so I'm not sure some of these further back want to move a bit further forward. Don't have to, but can if you want to. First off, thanks for being invited to come and do his talk. I'm not Ross. Hopefully, his talk was pretty good. So if he came for that, please don't leave. I mean, I'm talking about some stuff which I think there's some stuff that resonates, I believe. So I'm going to talk about platform as a product and essentially a service catalog. So first off, there's nothing better than audience participation. Get stuff going. Who knows or aware what a platform as a product is? Just a show of hands. Who has or runs a platform as a product where they work or... Okay, so just definition of it so everyone's in the loop of what it is. Essentially, a platform as a product is an internal platform that development and operations teams can use, similar to customer-facing product. It's developed with a user-centric approach, focusing on features that streamline development workflows, enforce best practices, and provide self-serve access to tools, infrastructure, and resources. So from our point of view, I'll give context about our setup in a second, but essentially we extracted all the cloud stuff into our own platform tooling and make it relevant for our ops teams and our developers. Second question, who knows what a service catalog is? Who has got a service catalog at their work? Who would keep their hand and say their service catalog is awesome? Not a single hand. Right, so service catalog is a centralised, organised repository of all available services an IT or DevOps team offers to internal users such as developers, business teams and other departments. The catalog describes each service, its purpose, how to request it, and any associated service level agreements, SLAs or support information. Now, service catalog is one of these, I believe. I've been at Ultra for 20 years, ops lead there, and for like the first 15 years, we've tried to create a service catalog or a CMDB, and they're really, really hard to do, a lot of manual work, and you just never can achieve it. So I'm going to show a showcase of our current service catalog. So for context, AutoTrader, really old company, been around for a long time. I've been here 20 years. When I first joined, it was all about the magazine. So my priority was making sure the magazine goes out on time, otherwise we're in a whole lot of trouble. Lots of evolutions, ITIL, various changes. Then we killed off the magazine and become completely focused on online and our own data centers, our own engineers working for that. About 6 years ago, for various reasons, we decided we were going to embark on a big cloud migration, but with some caveats involved. So caveats where it wasn't going to be a lift and shift. We wanted to embrace the cloud and take benefits from that. We wanted to do migration and not halfway through decide we've done enough now and stop. If anyone's ever support or do support hybrid working, so multiple clouds, data centers, it's bloody hard and lots of issues. And people challenges as well, but we brought most of our people with us on the journey. We did set out a target for our migration to be 2 years. 4.5 years later, we turned off our data centers. So we completed our migration in May 2023. And because of that, we can focus all engineers on our new infrastructure. And that setup is, so we chose GCP, which seems to be, most people go with AWS. We chose GCP at the time because it was GCP with Google Kubernetes Engine, and we use an Istio service mesh. And the reason why I chose GCP at the time was because their Kubernetes offering was more mature than AWS. It's likely if AWS was more mature, we'd probably gone with them. So we settled on GCP, and that's pretty much where our platform is. So we essentially build our delivery platform, which is platform as a product, and pretty much it's here, it's built. If you want to use it and take on board all those features I'm going to talk about, then you use our tooling. If you do something else, then we're not supporting it or paying for it, and you have to try to manage it yourself. So pretty much every AutoTrader uses one platform. Lastly with it as well, some of the stuff I'm going to show you helps cost management. So the classic story is, most people when they migrate to the cloud, the costs ramp up, double cost, because it's so easy to spin stuff up and carry away. Our costs currently are less than it was with our data centers. So we're all about cost control, keeping costs down, and I'm on it. My boss is just all over it. But yeah, if we spot that, we just tackle it as soon as. But also it helps with tooling. So we're all about self-serve, automation, and improving everything. So if something's not working, always do as someone mentions it, and we'll get on it and look at what we can do to improve it. So that's it. There's one slide. I should have said at the start, if you have got any questions, QR code works, and there's what's the slide tool? Yeah. I'm not sure who wants to do that. This is again, unrehearsed, very much last minute, what I can do very quickly. So one slide, and I'm going to show you our tooling. Along the way, if anything's burning, then just ask and I'll stop. I'm going to talk until I get told that's it, time out. And I can talk about stuff forever. So that's one slide. Kill that off. So this is, hopefully most of you can see that. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly at the back. No. I'll try to explain as we go along, but it is clear, like, I'll try to enlarge it a little bit. A bit. So this is what we call our platform dashboard. This is essentially our service catalog. AutoTrader, currently we run microservices. It's all about microservices infrastructure for us. And we've currently got 729 microservices on our platform. We have got two more amounts, but essentially we've got a prod and we've got a pre-prod. All development is done by laptop. So laptop and containers, you develop code on laptop. Once it's sorted, then you push it out to platform. Most of our releases that we do are continuous deployment. So you change one line of code, that goes all the way through to prod. So challenge is then, you've got all these services, if someone new starts a company, how do they know how to access that service, how do they know about links and stuff like that? And we used to get lots of service requests like, I'm a new starter, I'm responsible for this app, what's a QA link for that? Where's the access logs? How do I see this? How do I do that? So we want to put it into one place. So I'm going to take you through now is this is the list. I'm just going to take you through, there's lots of information here. I'm going to go through first off, diving into one service and what we can get from that, and then some other stuff that's sort of around the side of the dashboard. So I'm going to click through to one service here we call Moves Charges. The service overview page, on here you can see who owns that service. So every service has got a clear owner. That's one person responsible for that service. Every service has also got a maintainers. So maintainers will get alerts if anything is wrong with that service, and they essentially, it's in its name, they will tweak it and maintain it, etc. So it's, I mean, I've worked for 20 years, spent so much time running around trying to find people and trying to work out who's responsible for something, and you waste so much time doing that. There's a specific clear owner. If Amina, who is a service owner here, leaves the company, we've got something that checks AD daily, and she leaves, it'll flag up that her name's on AD, we'll get an alert, or the maintainers will get an alert, and they have to update the code with the new service owner, so that all services and apps are currently up to date with the right person to speak to about that application. And other information here is about runtime, so this is base Java, use of following data stores, MySQL, Postgres. There's a domain, so AutoTrader, most people heard journey of like squads and tribes and stuff like that. AutoTrader, we've now moved on to domains, is the how you group people. So this domain is retailer, and the squad, don't really do squads anymore, so this is quite old, but this is the squad responsible for this service. So this is overall service. There's various tabs I've got here that you click into, so I'll click into one of them. The first one is workload management. So within workload management, AutoTrader, most of our stuff is OAuth security, and we do secret management all on the platform. It used to be in code and not on platform, but it's all about making things easy self-serve. So this application, I can see there's no tokens for OAuth because there's no authentication for the app, but I can see in secret management that there's plenty of secrets. So as a developer, if I want to know what a secret is, I can easily decrypt that. So drop down, reveal what the secret is. If I click on that, I have to type in why I want to reveal that. So there's some logging around when anyone comes to us and does a review on services, or who accessed those secrets, or here's a login of why we did it, who did it, etc. When I log into this platform, it authenticates me, so I can't get around trying to pretend I'm someone else. It knows it's me that's doing that. Credential management. There's no credentials for this service, but it's another feature that you can fill in. On the right hand side, so not sure how people experience with Kubernetes. In Kubernetes, you've got nodes and pods. Pods are essentially sort of small VM servers. And here I can very easily see that there's 2 pods. This is quite unusual because actually our setup in GCP, we've got 3 zones, essentially 3 data centers. So normally an application will have a minimum of 3 pods, 1 in each zone, and we build it so that if one zone fails, one data center fails, the other 2 have enough capacity to basically the app is still going to work. But this is more like an admin tool, this moves charges, so it's okay to have it as 2 pods. 2 pods, 1 less than 3, which means resources overall keeping down. With 700 services, make no decisions along the way, you reduce the overall cost. The beauty of this though is, say, it's an emergency database maintenance, and I need to turn these pods off. All I've got to do is put this slider to the left, and it will kill those pods. As soon as the work's finished, slider to the right, and it will build its pods. Now we rarely do this because, everyone knows, everything should be in code. So normally prefer to be update code, which I'll show you in a minute, push out code, it releases. But if you want a very quick sort of job, sometimes it's just easier just to flick it down to 0 and then back up. And then these are the pods here. So the other thing is checking logs and stuff like that, so to make it very self-serve, all in one place. I've got one pod here with a name. There's a drop down to the right. I can view the logs. So I click on view logs, that takes me through to Elastic. this service isn't very busy, I'll just expand over 7 days. So 7 days logs. When we migrated over into the cloud, the biggest thing we did was very slow time. So I'm sure everyone's investigating an issue with a service, and when you do, you realise, oh, there's an error, and then it's like, oh, that's been there for a year. Check again, another error, that's been there for 6 months, and then you give up because it's too full. So what we did was we migrated, reviewed every single service, and we quashed all the errors. So that might be because of the incorrect status codes, issue with the app, we'll fix it. So the time that we signed up for migrated, there was no errors in the logs. So then when we come across issues, it's very much, that is the error, that's the issue. It also helps us with, I'm not going to demo it now, but we've got more real-time monitoring. So my team monitors graphs where they can see, as soon as the release goes in, 500 start, within seconds we're on it, and people are dealing with it. So it's all about that. But if the logs weren't clean, and there was lots of like 500 and all these errors, then it's quite hard to actually do that. So here, there's this example of this very quick from the dashboard, and I can see where I can see the logs for that pod. I can click through to Elastic, so it's all nice and simple. So the other things we can have is, it's all about quick diagnosing faults. So we've got view logs, which is application logs. We've got view events, so Kubernetes events. Some Kubernetes things happen without going to logs, so to place you can go. Also, we're mainly a Java house, so stuff like heap dumps. How do we get heap dump? In the past, it's like trying to get a sys engineer to go and create a heap dump. Here, press a button, creates a heap dump, get a message in Slack telling you it's available, download it, great. Thread dumps, garbage collection reports, so everything you feel you need to investigate something is a click of the fingers. Importantly, most of the time, this is devs. If devs ask our ops, can I get this? We point them in that direction and let them go get themselves. We don't do any of this work anymore. It used to be very much ops focused. That's workload management. Got schedule tasks, which is another tab, which essentially cron jobs. This app's got one cron job. Again, I can details on that. I can trigger it now. I can view logs and view events. This is a fairly recent feature we've added. So it's just easier to, why this is important is that some scheduled tasks are short-lived. A container spins up and then it dies after. Sometimes you can't actually capture the information. So this gives us the ability for these scheduled tasks to actually see what's happened, especially if they're not in a good state. Don't really do schedule requests. Another cool one is suggestions. This is quite bad because this shows that this one hasn't had much focus. So, knowing in the world we're not an operations person, you still trying to do like cost management, etc. As a developer, how do you know that, oh, I've been told that my app is running too much CPU or not enough CPU? What do I do about that? So the idea then is, well, let's get the platform to tell you. So here, it's telling you stuff like reduce your application CPU request by approximately 50. How it records it is it records it during the peak and over 7 days. And if it's unutilized, so unutilized means that it's hardly using any CPU, but we're paying for it, then drop the CPU. So here it's advising on what you can do to that and what thresholds to change. Same for memory and same for other features. So it makes that experience easier. If this information wasn't there and developers get an alert saying the CPU is really high or low or whatever, the first thing I do is raise a call with ops to investigate it. This is like, no, the information's there, just follow the guidance there, and you can do it all self-serve yourself. At Board Trader, developers are responsible for CPU, in fact, essentially responsible for everything on their app. Including CPU, memory and stuff like that, so they frequently change it themselves, and it's all completely self-serve.
How have you implemented that? Is that like a Prometheus rule or something?
Yeah, essentially heavily Prometheus. The hard thing to implement was anomaly detection, but also history. So you can see the data over time, it's recording that, and then we give a certain baseline criteria. So we want CPU to be, if it's unutilized, if it belongs over X%, then we give guidance for that. It's all code, so there's no like manual bits behind that. This is quite free flowing as well, because over time this list grows of other things that are quite helpful and beneficial, and developers also contribute to look like this to be a thing, so we can change on the fly. The other thing I didn't mention is that this tool is all in-house, so if anything needs to be changed, we can do it ourselves without having to go to a third party and contest against other customers with certain priorities. We want this feature, what feature we build out for ourselves. The other thing is network policy. This service has actually only got connection to one other service. Essentially, this network policy, so microservice infrastructure. Here you can see what's coming into the app and what's going out of the app. And also, when you have a service like this, you try to keep it clean as well. So let's say microservices are fairly free flowing. It could be you've got microservice that's up live for a couple of days and then killed off. So you've got to make sure the network policies and that are removed as well. So if there's a red flag here, it might mean that there's a service that got created, this talks to it, it's left, and now this is like flagging up. So we go in and basically remove that in code. And there's different egress network policies. So we consider stuff like special rules that maybe this service needs to talk to Experian.com. We then configure this to enable it to talk to Experian.com. By default, no services in our platform can talk out to any service like that. It needs to be configured to allow it to go out. Again, just trying to keep security at the forefront of what we do. Next tab is databases. So again, this app has got MySQL and Postgres. For AutoTrader, we used to have 5-6 database engineers. We've got one database engineer now. One left about 6 months ago. Another data engineer wanted to go to the role internally, so then that triggered my SRE team to be right. We talked about database automation. Let's crack on and do it. So we stopped what we're doing and then cracked on database automation. What that means is, in the past, if you wanted a database for an app, you had to reach out to you had to create a ticket, reach out to a database engineer, then create the instance, then manually create a password. They put that password in LastPass. They speak to you. You've got to do a few things your side. Now it's, if you want to do that, you update a line of code, you press a button, it deploys, database is created, one-on-one relationship. You want to do migration in the past, really drawn out, long drawn out affair. Now as simple as, when you do the testing locally, and say you're going from version 15 to 16, in code you put 16, press deploy, it deploys, and that's it, does it all for you. But that's the way it sort of works with AutoTrader. Pretty much we see something happens, we then just swarm on it and get that done. And lastly, there's an admin section. So we can do stuff like B2B traffic rules, various other stuff. But the important one here is my team responsible for killing off stuff. So in the past, you build an application or something, you build servers. Server sits application will hang around for a long time because actually it's a painful experience to kill off the servers, rip out all network rules, contact networks, contact DBAs, contact sysengineers. It was a nightmare. Now, all it is in Slack as a workflow. If a developer wants their app to be got rid of, they fill in details in a workflow in Slack, press a button, it goes to my team come here, just make sure that things are good with the request, you press a button, that removes it from the platform and removes the pipelines, and we tell them the owner that's been completed. Nice and simple. So it means that we're doing that, then things aren't hanging around, we clear stuff off when we want to clear stuff off, which keeps costs down, but keeps the platform in a healthy state. That's the top level for this service. If I go back to the overview, so the right hand side, there's various stuff around build validations, deploy validation, vulnerabilities. When we push a release out with various checks that occur, so it does all normal CVE checks. If that fails CVE, especially critical, then the release will fail. It does other checks as well, 1 million checks that go through to ensure that when it goes to pre-prod and then prod, we're trying to elevate the 99% chance that it's going to go live without causing an issue. That's it away. And importantly, if it does fail when it goes to live, the person who's pushed that button to push it live gets a message very quickly from Slack and an alert telling them that you just pushed this live, this has now started failing, please can you sort it out? And we've got to a point now where developers, when we're on it and fixing it, so we go from you pushing a release out, its system realising you've done something wrong because you're getting 500 errors, you get alerted, and sometimes we're seeing that's going from literally 2 or 3 minutes for impact to live to actually roll back and all good again. In the past, previous environment, it was at least 30 minutes to roll back previous release last time good, and then probably about an hour trying to track down who's actually pushed it out because it's struggling to work out who's done that. Down this list here, there's loads and loads and loads of service links to all relevant stuff for the application. So that could be the link to the actual application itself, a link to alerts. Luckily, live demo, there's no alerts on this, which is always good to see. Application logs, so I'm not going to click application logs because I've already clicked on that, but I'm going to click on source code. This takes me to the source code for the app. If I click then into the Helm file and the values YAML file and scroll down, you can see here that everything, the platform dashboard, essentially built from code. It's all dragged out from code, which means that's infrastructure code really, updated it all. So here you can see the owner is Amina, which is the owner of platform dashboard, maintainer, Chloe is your only maintainer, and then something called contributors. So the concept of contributors is someone that contributes to that repo and that won't actually get any alerts if it all goes wrong. I'm seeing, by the way, these people automatically, when the app goes live, it creates a group in Slack, maintainers group. So if I add maintainers, lose charges, then Chloe and Amina will get an alert or a message from them. So it all syncs in and ties in together. The other thing mentioned is done on the source code. So we talked about CPU memory. This is where CPU memory is configured. So you can go in there, update CPU, update memory, and a ton of other stuff like Java, max heap, etc. Essentially, you can update all the stuff in code, push it live, that updates the platform dashboard.
Do you have anything that you can update from the dashboard itself? ClickOps now, like would it sync to Git?
No, I think we like it going the other way. It's all one.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
On the dashboard, if you go up a bit, you've got the release frequency. Do you capture like doorway metrics and stuff here for the application?
I'm not sure what it is, but I think I'll answer what you're asking in a minute. So other stuff is, again, with Java House, stuff like JVM, I can click on and go and see all the JVM metrics. So a ton of metrics in here to help me diagnose issues. I can click on metrics from MySQL, MySQL, Postgres. One that's really good for us is service health. So this takes right into the application itself. I can see here income requests, so I can see if there's any issues. I can see 500s, no 500s here, which is good. A wealth of information is in here. So basically trying to investigate an issue. If you can't find what it is you're looking for with the information we've got, then there's something completely wrong, and something's missing, then we'll quickly, right, what is that? Let's implement that. The most powerful bit that I like is tracing. I'm not sure if anyone's used tracing. The tracing is an awesome tool. So AutoTrader, all our traffic goes through Cloudflare. We heavily use Cloudflare, so everything goes through Cloudflare, and we trace every request in Cloudflare to wherever it's going to go on our platform. And we keep all traces for 3 days because keeping traces is expensive because there's so much data. And for us, actually, every 3 days, because some of our apps are released multiple times a day, so any trace every 3 days, it's not really needed, so that's our cut-off point. Log-wise, we keep logs for 30 days. Again, it's costly, so we don't fast environment. There's no point having logs that go back 6 months, it's not relevant. So all traces are captured, and all you need is a array ID. So Cloudflare, you get array ID, we ask for array IDs, and we can put this into various tools, put it in, and it goes away and checks all logs and tells you what's going on. We've even got some automation that if there's an incident, we automatically create an incident, it automatically goes away and checks the tracing and tells you pretty much what's going on. So for example, on here, there's nothing really to show because down here where normally look slow trace, etc., not that slow. and we've got 200 status codes, which is obviously good. If one of these was not good, I click on a trace, and then I can explore the trace. This is really handy. This is not showing too much because it's sort of one app. If this though was, say, a microservice where it's like 8, 9, 10 services, then it's really good to actually see very quickly where the issue is. So I can go from with our overall graphs, seeing a spike of say a couple of seconds in our main dashboard in traffic, to quickly seeing what app it is, checking the traces, and telling you within about a minute or so what's caused that. And then we'll make a decision of have we got to investigate it further, or be happy that was just a blip, third party, no problem, don't investigate. So we make those decisions multiple times a day. Also, as we release loads, but it isn't all about how much you release. We release loads because we actually take on board platform security updates, application updates. Our system automatically push releases out, incorporating security stuff. Whereas in the past, we were only releasing application updates, and we were really struggling to be secure and keep it updated. So now we've automated a ton of it, so that actually, it might be an app releases 10 times a day, whatever, but only one of the releases is actually an application update. The rest of it might be security issues that we keep on top of constantly.
Is this automated, actually, security updates?
Yeah. So, so essentially it's a CVE database. So when we push out a release, there's known CVEs, and if there is an issue with that, it will flag up in our pipeline tool, and it'll explain to you what CVE it says that's an issue, and you go away and investigate that. Sometimes it might be the CVE says it's an issue, but when you investigate it, it really isn't. So you can suppress that, but there's a lot of scrutiny behind that. We don't really like you doing that, so you need to collaborate when you are doing that. But in AutoTrade also it's like a CVE like SIG group where people say I've got this CVE, has anyone seen that before? Yeah, you just need to do this, and we work together. Essentially we won't push anything out unless it passes a whole lot of criteria. So that's down to the service. So just on the left hand side, there's other stuff we've got as well that's worth speaking about. One is incidents. So AutoTrader, we heavily utilise Slack. We've built our own tool. Someone mentioned before, something like Instant.io. So Instant.io is a really good tool to use. We actually built our same time they're building theirs, and candidly they were pretty much feature exactly the same. But we've heavily developed our tool, so it's very internal. But we create incident Slack. And the idea is create an incident, and I can do a simple mesh to say app include a certain app. When I do that, it will drag in the maintainer and the owner for the app, and then they will then investigate the issue. So all in Slack. And at the end, we're trying to use more AI, and when we close off the incident, and postmortems are challenging, and we used to find that the challenging postmortems is we spent a lot of time getting a postmortem meeting, and it took like the hour of the meeting saying who did what when. So this tool actually then drags it all out in a simple file of you did this then, exact timestamps. It even tells you that what it thinks the issue was, what mitigations were, and what you're going to do going forward. The whole point behind that then is from here, like stuff here. I'm not sure why it clicks on that, it's a bit wrong. But this is the incident. So all our incident are prefixed with incident, number, which is the date, and then a rough description. And here, status, when raised, the impact justification, open description, and a summary which is generated by AI. So detection, impact, mitigation, next steps. And this is all captured. And we also give it some AI so that you can see on the right hand side here, you've got graphs on domains, so we can show a breakdown on a certain domain. You've got more instances than other people, and also I can do a minimum impact level. So if our board want to go to this graph, they can show, look, all I know about is major impact issues. You can press a button there and tell them what incidents actually caused us a serious impact, all within a few clicks of a button. This is version 1. We're actually doing a whole lot work on version 2 to make this a whole lot better and actually incorporate postmortems and stuff like that into the same tool set as well. So that's incidents, quite early stage really of incidents. Next, vulnerabilities. So this allows you that, a little bit what we were saying before, let's say there's a known CVE here, if I click on that CVE, it tells me what's affected, impact-wise, and sometimes what to do about that. I won't dig into too much detail, but essentially it's a good place to go and check for known vulnerabilities. This next one's quite powerful. I do like this. I'm not sure if anyone been in a scenario where your security team comes to you and says, oh my god, how many node servers have we got? X amount. There's a new security vulnerability come out, and I think it's for version blah. Can you work out what servers are impacted by that and then get it fixed? It's a freaking nightmare. It's hard to do. A, to identify what servers, is documentation updated, you may have to log into all servers, then work out who's responsible, and do all the work. It's complicated. So if I get told, right, node 10, for example, node 10 and let's say I'll click on it. So basically got node here. If I click on a version of this node, then it lists all the apps that have got that version of that node, etc. Yeah? Then what we would do is we create working groups in Slack. So the working group, a prefix of WG, create it, and you can act or maintain this for this app. So within a few minutes, create a working group, node issue, app all maintainers, it drags all the owners for all these apps into one working group, and you work with them to resolve that issue. And you can, because it's all updated straight away, when they push a release out, these lists will be updated quite quickly. You can see then who's actually done the work and who hasn't done the work. So it's quite quick to work out impact and quite quick to follow resolution. Going from, again, probably if it's a serious issue, probably about a day to go through and do it, compared to probably a week or so to actually work out who it is and update spreadsheets and stuff like that. It's all quite hard. No bit here is how do you actually get your app onto the tool itself. So we've got content apps is as a service and a data product. Simple as with the service, we use GitHub as source code. So literally you put in your repo name, what application it is. So is it Java, Node, .NET, Python, etc. You fill the details out, you push deploy, and that deploys. As it's deploying, it picks up all the Prometheus configs, alerting configs, all of it. So when it actually goes out, you don't have to worry about then, right, it's there now I need to configure this and configure that and whatever. It's just all there straight away. So developers don't really need to know, all you know is literally fill these simple bits in, you push out, and you get all the platform benefits straight away. And that's pretty much how we deploy WaterTrader. There is various platform training, because yes, whilst we're saying make it easier for our tool, you have to know how our tool works, take benefit of the monitoring, etc. So we do training courses to take others through it, and we practice scenarios of something breaking and work with them on how to troubleshoot, how to fix the issues. I've already discussed tracing and logging, releases. This is probably the last thing to show actually. So today, this is from now, so today has been 294 deployments to our prod platform. This is called internal tool called Lighthouse. If you're releasing loads of apps or loads of releases, you need to keep track of who's releasing what when. Back in the day, at WaterTrader, the way we used to do it was an Outlook calendar, and we used to put in who's doing what when, which was a frigging nightmare, because when someone breaks, you'd go to Outlook calendar and you'd be saying, oh, like Joe deployed this at 12 o'clock Outlook. No, that didn't go in because it just didn't go in. Well, why didn't we move it from their calendar then? Well, it didn't happen. And oh no, it went in three hours later because of that, so it didn't actually start then. This is pretty much, because we can see when someone breaks there and then, we go here and it'd be right, I've just seen an issue with Opspot. Well, wait a second, Opspot was deployed 1806. Right then, so I think that's related to this then, so it's got to be a release. Or it might be that I release Opspot or another service and I see an issue, and I know from experience that actually there's a connection to the auction customer, and that went in at 540. I start getting complaints at like 550. For me, like, wait a second, this is a bit of a too much of a coincidence. So we will then reach out and investigate that as an avenue investigation. And this is a prod, but that breaks down as well, so I can see all the releases in pre-prod, which also is going to be quite similar because most releases will go through pre-prod and prod. see live demo, they're stuck, they shouldn't be stuck, so they need deleted. But essentially it's all very easy place to quickly see and get information, and essentially as well that most of it we've got is self-serve, and we've only got a small team, so me, my team, 5 OEs, ops engineers, and we've got 5 delivery platform engineers, and those engineers are SREs, 4 of them are like coders, and one of them, my boss, is like, yeah, he sells stuff like this. He's pretty much good thing Auto Trader is he's an innovator, but he's very much like, he'll go home, try something at home, and come the next day and go, I've just seen this new tech, it's already in our pre-prod environment, what do we think? Should we push it live? Yeah, push it live, right then, crack on. If it ends up being that this isn't really relevant, then we just rip it out and move on to the next thing. Just quite quick, do stuff. If we go in the wrong direction, stop, come back, do something, change it. So that's it in a nutshell. That's our platform dashboard, that's our service catalogue. Hopefully show that ways benefits from having all information in one place and ease of doing that via code. Again, this is our version 1, so at some point probably back and where I talk about version 2 when we get that done. I can't wait to see what they do. I'm very much the talker, not the brains behind the scenes. And that's it really. Is that right?
Any questions?
I might have missed this at the beginning, but the dashboard that you was showing then, is that an internal tool or is it something off the shelf that you?
Yeah, we've filled quite bad sometimes because all big companies like us should be doing back to community, but our infrastructure is all quite tightly linked together that a lot of stuff is really only relevant to our setup. So yes, almost all tools we build out are all internally built. But there's other tools out there, like again, Instant IO, if you're looking at Instant and stuff like that, they are an awesome tool. I don't quite like them for different reasons, but it's a really good tool that you can plug in. And their tools work with Teams and Slack and stuff like that. But yeah, luckily the reason why we build it ourselves as well is because we have other tools we haven't built ourselves, but say if you want to change anything, or like, I don't like that feature, can you just have this new feature here? We're competing with about 10, 15 other companies, and if they don't want that, then the company trying to work with is saying, well, no one else wants that, so I won't build that for you. At least you build your own tooling. If we want it, well, if you want it, build it then. You can contribute PR to it, I'll review it and push the button and it's live. So that's what we get a lot of developers now are actually, I've got this idea and we'll just be like, yeah, crack on, do it yourself. And they contribute themselves, so it's very good like that.
This would be a really good blog post. Like last time I saw you talk, how it kind of looks and
I hate writing.
like when you've got like backstage and things like that, this is kind of like an alternative view.
Yeah.
I think it's a more practical view than what like Spotify push out there. So yeah, it'd be a really good blog post, I think.
Maybe some room. Thank you.
They've got one question on Slido. Could you have built the platform on serverless, and if so, why didn't you?
I'm laughing because if you said that my manager here would laugh as well. It's like server's good. It's always about what fits for you and what fits for your company. Us, it doesn't, and we want complete visibility and our control. We feel that serverless will lose some of that. But again, this works for us. It might not work for you. For service might work for you. It's more what's fit for purpose in your company, I think.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Thank you.